Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over the correction because it's going to be in for a correction for a little while. And there's some people who want to hear that, but you want Bitcoin to go up. Like I said in the last video, you want it to hit certain fib levels, like 50% if you want to ride a pretty good wave, in my opinion. And I think you have a good shot of that. But I'm over the NASDAQ, right? So the NASDAQ is, the tech stocks go up. Bitcoin's supposed to go up, right? I guess not now. Bitcoin decided to take a breather, not kind of fool everybody and go, oh, okay, Nvidia and all these other ones are going to blast up and Bitcoin's just going to keep on going. But I have this on here, guys, to let you know this is an uber bullish indice, okay? In a 1-2-1-2 wave sequence. And it'll be entering into its 3 of a 3 wave sequence. It'll be long time. It'll be a long time for this wave to go on, guys. It'll be a lot longer than that right there. That lasted January 09 to October 21. So we'd just say 10 years, 10, 11 years, right? Well, the third wave's probably going to last at least 20, maybe even 25, with big corrections along the way. But here's my point, guys, is that I'm astounded at people that are like really, really bearish on the NASDAQ. And there's just like a couple of things that you can just look at on the monthly chart and go, well, it's probably not wise, especially when NASDAQ was at the bottom there in October. Probably not wise to be bearish on the NASDAQ. And one of the reasons is right here in the RSI. You see how low it came? Boom, it went all the way down there. And if you look at this wave, you see this wave right here, this 10-year, 11-year wave. Look how big that wave is right there, guys. It's bigger than that one, bigger than that one, bigger than that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay. It's a pretty big wave up there, guys. That's not that's a pretty substantial correction. It's just looking at it. I was thinking maybe that is enough. Maybe the NASDAQ isn't a bull run, guys. It could be. So here's the thing. Either way, I think it's going to be going up and to the right for probably most of the year for the NASDAQ, guys. So I think if the Bitcoin's going up, or not Bitcoin, NASDAQ's going up and to the right for the majority of the year, then I think that's probably going to be pretty good for Bitcoin. So here's the deal. It's correcting this leg, right? And then you have this over here. And if you go through all the way over here, you have this is one big gigantic correction. Okay. So you have this massive 25-year run. And this whole thing corrected that leg. So then it could go on another leg. But if you check this out, the only time the 2022 crash went deep, not as deep as this one. So I'm not going to count that one because that's a massive bigger sequence wave, is in the 1987 crash and then the 1990 recession, which would be the crash too. But in my opinion, that whole thing is a fourth wave crash. It's like this, except it's a little bit smaller right over here. Okay, so it's all one correction, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it did a 3-wave move up. Doesn't look impulsive to me, but maybe it is. But here it is right here, that section. So you got this over here in the 22 crash that you just went through, which I've explained that the 22 crash in momentum-wise is just as deep as the 1987 crash, okay? So my opinion, I think it's foolish to be bearish on the NASDAQ because of these data points right here in the RSI, or the momentum indicator, and the size of that wave up there, guys, So, and I don't think there's going to be they're like, some of them are looking for this and for this. To get that, guys, it took a 25-year run for it to get that. 25 years. This was 10 or 11, half that size. Okay, half that size, guys. So I'm not expecting anything like this anytime soon. Not for a while. It's going to have to probably do a couple more of these waves, and then maybe we might see another one of these. Okay, in the future with the NASDAQ. So I just want to put that out there. So the reason I'm going over this, guys, is just because if this is bullish, you have a good shot that Bitcoin's going to be bullish too. It's going to follow tech more than anything, in my opinion. So That's good news for Bitcoin. If this is going into a third wave, then Bitcoin probably has a bright future ahead for it for quite some time. Now here's Bitcoin on the thing, and it looks like it's going to try to make a trek up. I still think it's going to try to hit this 28,000, but remains to be seen. I keep saying that. It's not doing that, but one of these days it's going to do that. But I'm looking at this here and on Bitcoin, guys, and doing my studies right here, kind of see where this correction is going to go for Bitcoin. And the deal is on the Bitcoin chart here is I think it's going to, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put some moving averages on here. Okay. I have some moving averages on here on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. And there's a 40 period moving average. Okay. 40 period, the black one. And I'm going to put a line, I'm just going to go, well, I'm not going to put it on there because then this whole chart thing will come back. But this 40 period moving average is going to go just like so. Okay. Actually, let me put my chart back on there. Bitstamp. Yeah. So this target box is what I'm looking at with a lot of support right there at 22,000 even. And the 40 period moving average is going to be going right like this. So basically, these moving averages. So the 9 is the orange or the yellow, and then you have the blue, the 20, the 21, and then you have the 40, and then you have the 200 up there. Okay, guys. A lot of people use the 200. You're like looking at that all the time. Yeah, I look at it for a couple minutes, and it's below it right now, right? Question is, how do you know if it's going to go back above it? That's the hard part. So here it is on the 40 period moving average, and it's going to kind of start going like that, right? It's going to kind of say maybe like something like that, right? I think Bitcoin is going to it's going to come to that 40 period moving average, doing some things, and it looks like it's going to have a hard time penetrating the 40 period moving average. It's going to penetrate the 9 and the 20 right there. So here's the 20, just like so. 20's coming up just like that, right? It's going to start rolling over, and the 9's up there in behind the candles, but it's going to come through the 9 and then come up, and it's going to come on top of the 20 period moving average, kind of like that, guys, or the 40, excuse me, the 40. It could have candle bodies below that, and I think over the period of the next 2 or 3 weeks, you want to have those on there and be checking that out, because that could be the area where it's finally going to finish up this correction right there to that area sometime at the end of June or the beginning of July is what I'm thinking would be going on with Bitcoin, guys. And it's going to make a wave down this channel, more or less, is what I'm checking out with Bitcoin. I think it's what it's going to do. And let me go to this section, take these moving averages off, makes a mess, and clean it up a little bit. And looking at the move on the correction that it's doing through here, and then it's going to go up. I prefer it to go up if it ever gets up there. It might take it some time because it's a correction, but maybe make a move up, and then maybe that's the 3-way move, and then it'll just do another one. Maybe it just goes halfway and then back down or something like that, guys. Back down into these areas, and that 40 period moving average, it's gonna be going on the weekly chart. It's going to be going kind of like that. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. I think this is going to be the sweet spot for Bitcoin, guys, for that correction. Now, the other reason why I say that too is that if you go to the daily chart, I'm getting some confluence. I'm checking this out on Bitcoin. You got some time to plan ahead too, guys. You got a few weeks for Bitcoin. Is the confluence on the retrace. And I'm going to take it off and just use not logarithmic. And you can see right here, the 50% is right on top of that box. The 5.5 is right there, 22.5. There's this massive support line. This is support, resistance, and support right through here into that area, guys. Okay. So that's where I think it's going to land. That's the area that I'm shooting for. I don't think Bitcoin is going to do a crazy correction. I don't think this is going to happen like over here. Okay. I don't think that this, come down and then boom, boom. I don't think that's going to happen. Right now, that's all just speculation. I think it's going to come down there and go into that correction. And then it's going to be getting ready to get out of there, guys, in that area. I don't think I don't think that we're going to see this whiz back up only to go back down or something like that, like it did over there, guys. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, you never know. It just seems like it's this is all too small. This was more, this was a much more dynamic wave of 350%, and we're looking at a wave that's not even 100%, guys. So it just doesn't seem like it's going to fit for this one over here. But as I said in my other videos, or previous video, that'd be your 1, and this is going to be coming down for a 2. And then where's the 3 going to end up? Then you have 3, 4, 5. And that could be the buy the dip opportunity for people that miss this, if they missed that, or if they're in this, or they got out and now they want to check it out again in this area. June, end of June, beginning of July timeframe will be the opportunity for some people to get in and possibly get a wave like that, guys. Okay. And the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. GBTC is the same way. It's the same way, guys. I think GBTC, I know I keep going over this. GBTC is going to make a correction down to about $12.15 is what I'm looking at for a target, and then as low as $11.72, depending on this little wave pattern sequence that I made down here. And the GBTC, in my opinion, is the same thing. It had a pretty dynamic wave over here of 391%. Can you believe that? That wave is bigger than Bitcoin's wave. And then this wave right here is 143%. GBTC went up more than Bitcoin on both those waves, guys. Didn't realize that. I guess on logarithmic, they look smaller. But here's the thing, is I think that's going to be what it's going to do. And I am pretty sure that GBTC is going to make a move probably similar to what it did down here, guys. You see this? Boom. And then it went up into this wave, and then boom. Made a little double zigzag. ABC, 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 barely going right there. So I'm thinking right here, ABC maybe, and then ABC, and then maybe ABC like that. Come back down to that area right there, guys. And on the weekly chart, I'll show you what I'll be looking at. Put on the SMAs, boom. That 40 period moving average, boom, be going like that. Something like that, guys, is what I'd be checking out on that 40 period moving average, okay? So, and then for GBTC, that will be, let me take these off again. GBTC will be in the same area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, this area for that whole wave pattern right there, guys, okay, is what I'm checking out right now. And then this swing right here, I mean, once this goes on, people aren't going to believe this. And I want it to be that way. I want people to think this is all fake. I want people to think, if too many people start believing this, that's when I will start, and I'll be like, oh, it's not going to go. Like if people said, oh, it's going to do that, and I see it all over Twitter, and most of the people are saying, yeah, that's what it's going to do, like that, and I would be, it's probably not going to do that. But nobody's saying that GBTC is going to do this. Nobody. I haven't heard anybody say GBT is going to go up there to $38 to $50.40 and then 64. Now, Bitcoin's a little bit different, but this area, when GBTC was in this area, guys, that's when Bitcoin was at 60,000. When Bitcoin was at 60,000. And if you go back and look at the wave pattern that Bitcoin is doing, let me check, go back over here, that this wave pattern with, this is a wave 1 and a 2, those are going to be the targets. Throw your fibs on there. Wherever you think the second wave is going to go, 1.618 for the third, fourth wave is going to be, probably, if this, depending on this, if this second waves can go shallow, actually, then the fourth waves go deep. As a matter of fact, they can do opposite. Like you have a shallow one, so maybe it will rip out of there, but and do something like that, guys. Or maybe it goes on into, here's May of 24. Who knows how long it'll take? It probably won't take it that long, and then boom, it's done. That can't happen. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. I'm not going to sit around and go, oh, yeah, a 4-year cycle has to play out. I'm not going to do that. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to do that, guys. That's you know, the past 10 years has been when the S&P and the NASDAQ from 2009 to 2021, they have been up and to the right in a 5-wave sequence. Right now, they're either in a correction, right? They're in a correction. Here's the NASDAQ. They either started a new one or they're in a correction to swing back down. It remains to be seen what's going to be happening in here. Maybe this thing's going to melt up and it's one last big wave and then it'll do another super crash like Dave Hunter said. But I don't know. I don't know for sure, but you know, or maybe somehow in here that this is going to be 1-2 and then it's going to rip off maybe another little 1-2. And then and then maybe possibly if you see that, then maybe you could do a little moonshot out of there. That I guess that is possible. If you want to go bullish, if you want something to do like a mega moonshot out of there, then you know this is going to take even more time, guys. So you be in here and here's your 1 and come back for a 2, right? Let's say it goes down to there. Well, then you're going to need another 1. You're going to need a smaller one. So you got another small, like one that goes like that, and then a wave like that. And then you're still sideways up until December 23. That could happen. I mean, I never thought about that, but yeah, 1-2, and then you got another 1-2. And then, yeah, and then this would all work with the, what is that thing called, man? You know, the halving event. If it does something like that, kind of like that's what GBTC did over here. GBTC did that as an example. Litecoin did that in 2022. Litecoin and GBTC, they both did it over here. Okay, right here. You know, you see how this is section. Now, this is probably the whole wave, but you can see how it went kind of sideways. So here's its peak, May of 20, came back down to 1097, back down to 948, and it went up to 14 and came back down to 10, basically the same price, and then finally ripped out of there. So, you know, you were sideways from 27 April to October, first 6 months, more or less. And then it started ripping out of there. So boom, 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 and then it did the rip. So, but I'm not sure that could be a 1-2, 1-2 right there, guys. If you think about that, that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, because it looks like a 4 might be right there, guys. So that could be it. And then Bitcoin could do that too, I suppose, if you want to get uber bullish on Bitcoin. If that's what I would be checking out. To do a wave pattern like that. And in that section over here, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then it's off. So then you're going into this third wave. And, you know, who knows where the time that it would take for something to do it like that. But then this would be like, you know, the super smoke show, you know, it's going into 3. It would be like this. It would be one of these over here. And then that would flow with the halving event. That would flow with the halving event. So yeah, I never thought about that, but it definitely could do something like that, guys, and start ripping out of there. It might just 1-2 instead of just doing one wave. Okay. Because it can't do the 1-2, 1-2 right now. It can't do it because the wave is too big. This wave that's coming off the top for Bitcoin. What did I do, man? I just made a mess. For Bitcoin over here, guys, is the wave is this wave is too big for the other wave. I'll show you just a second here. So this wave, and then you have this section is too big for this wave. You can't have 1-2, 1-2 because this wave is bigger than this wave. So once this wave gets bigger than this wave, you have to rule out a 1-2, 1-2. So if you want the 1-2, 1-2 super smoke show, then you're going to be waiting for your altcoins. Well, I don't want to take that back because if Bitcoin does another wave, the altcoins will still pop. But if you want the super smoke show on Bitcoin, you need to have this is your 1. So here's your 1. It's going to come down for a 2. You want it to rip off another 1, probably, let's see, I messed that up. Here's 1, 2. You want to rip off another 1, probably going up to like 35, something like that as an example, and it comes back down for another 2. No, I take that back. That 1 needs to get higher because it's going to go on top of the other 1 more than likely or something like that. So it goes up here, 1, 2. You want it to get up there and do a correction, kind of get even with this area, kind of like that. And then you'll have your 1, 2, 1, 2. and then Bitcoin will be kind of sideways in that area, and then that will be your super smoke show. That can happen. That can happen, guys. And then, then that would flow with the halving event. So yeah, now that I think about that, you want to pay attention that you might have something like that. Never thought about that, because this is pretty bullish right here, guys. Look at those candles. Those are a weekly candle. People are like, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. And I look at the monthly candles. Like, look at the monthly candle. It's a bear market bounce, guys. Don't you know, man? Recession is coming. There's a recession coming because everybody in the news says the recession is coming, guys. So the reality of it, I mentioned this before, the states of the United States are, oh, they got the news out, there's a recession in Germany. People are saying we are in a recession. Don't you remember we had 2 negative GDP numbers back then? I know they don't use that as count as a recession anymore, but that's when people, that's what like, that was it. That we are in a recession. They were saying it back then. That was like the first 6 months of 2022. We're in a recession, right? So, but at the end of the day, wherever the recession is going to be, so I'm going to show you guys something, right? Here's the NASDAQ. Here's the NASDAQ. I'm going to put on this recession thing. Do I have it? I don't have that recession thing on right here. Hold on for a second. Yeah, I thought I had the recession deal on my chart, but I guess that I don't anymore. Anyhow, yeah, I do have the recession thing. Just a second, guys. Let me go to my indicators, favorites. Where's the recession? Recession. Here we go. Recession. There we go. Here's a recession, right? Okay. At the end of the day, wherever it goes down is where they're going to say it's the recession. So like here on the NASDAQ on the monthly chart, you see this down. It went down, recession, down, recession, down, recession. They're not going to say this is a recession. If the NASDAQ is going like this, they're not going to block that section out right here and go, yeah, that was the recession. They're not going to do it, man. So either this is going to be the recession or there's going to be another one over here and that's going to be the recession. You see what I'm saying? Like, go back and look at it. That's the only way it works. All right, guys, I'm just rambling on, letting you know that when I'm checking out with Bitcoin, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to do that crazy correction, but hey, I could be wrong. I'm not expecting it quite yet, but I also know with Bitcoin, expect the unexpected. If you made all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. Drop a like. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.